Hi guys, Everyday Knife Guy here with another simple paracord tutorial. This is a development in the last video I posted where we created this square or box Sinnet paracord fob. This time we're going to do something a little bit different and create this, the round or crown Sinnet fob. So it's a little bit more of an interesting pattern, just a variation on the last video. So I'm going to run through the instructions for this quite quickly. If anything's confusing, it may help you to go back and watch the box lanyard knot video that I posted, the previous one to this in the paracord, simple paracord playlist. So this is what we're looking to create. Again, I have 2 feet of 2 different colors. Just going to lay them out on the bench for the first knot here, make things a little bit easier. So the first thing I want to do is, so 2 feet each. First thing I want to do is find the midpoint. So let's take the bottom cord here and bend that in half. That gives our halfway point, and we're just going to lay that out over the top of the other cord. So we have one vertical, one horizontal, like that, same as in the other video. And this point here is the time where you determine what color is going to make the actual loop of your fob. So the horizontal cord, in this case the grey one, is going to make the loop. So if that's what you want, great. If not, just change position for the cords. You obviously don't need 2 colors to do this, but particularly on a pattern like this, 2 colors are going to look much better than 1. So it's a personal preference thing, but basically this is going to be your loop. So you can make this one slightly longer than the other one, and that way you'll end up coming to about the same amount to trim off at the end, just because obviously you're going to use a little bit of this length for the actual loop rather than just the weaving. So there's our first layout, and you're just going to take this base cord underneath here, so you've got your vertical one coming over the top, take your base cord and wrap it over like that, and take the base cord and wrap it over like that at the bottom. So you're basically just making an S shape with the vertical cord running through it. You're then going to take the top part of the vertical cord and bring that over this part of the horizontal and down through this loop here. Pull that through. And take the bottom part of your vertical cord over this horizontal strand and down through this loop here. And we're just going to, as evenly as possible, pull those all tight or cinch them up. Not too tight, but just nice and snug so we have something to work from. And that is basically the start of your square Sinnet that we did in the last video. You can see on the reverse, this is going to become the loop of your lanyard as we laid out. Now, in the last video, we would then have continued to do exactly the same thing. So basically, you'd be crossing the grey one over horizontally every time, you'd be crossing the green one over vertically every time. But we want basically the whole Sinnet to rotate as we go and create that spiraled round profile. So instead of going straight across, we're going to take the left hand horizontal piece and we're going to go up diagonally to the right, and we're going to take the right hand horizontal piece and go down diagonally to the left. Okay, so you can see we've done a bit of a twist there. You're then going to take the top piece, and we're basically looking for the loop that you've made. So in this case, you always want to go over the grey, originally the horizontal strand, over the grey first and then find the loop. So we're going to take this piece, and for this one our loop is down here. So you're basically going diagonally with this color as well. You're going to take the bottom green one, and you're always looking to go over the grey and down through the loop. So that for this one is here. You can cinch that up. Now, as with when we made the square Sinnet, this is the stage that we want to make the loop of our lanyard. So we're just going to flip that over, and this is going to be the loop of our lanyard here. So what we want to do is just feed in a bit of spare grey cord here, and we should be able to just pull that through at the top here. Basically just trying to take up that slack. There you go, so we're starting to feed that through, and feed in a little bit of spare grey here at the bottom. We should be able to pull that through here. So there you go, we've got ourselves a bit of a loop, a couple of inches there, that's probably enough. So we want to just go back and cinch down all our loose ends, tighten up this bottom knot. So basically the knot is the same as the last video. You're making a square knot, and the reason it turns out to be the crown or round Sinnet is basically just because you're rotating the knot with each stage that you do. That's the only difference. If you layer these one on top of the other, of course the profile stays square. If you rotate them by 45 degrees each time, it ends up being approximately round. So there we are, we have our square on the bottom, we have our loop on the top, and we're just going to continue doing that knot over and over again. but of course remember we're going diagonal up that way, diagonal down that way, and then we're just looking for those loops each time. So this one here is coming over the top, down through its loop. This one at the bottom is coming over the first grey strand and down through that loop there. So I'm going to pause this, continue doing this until I've worked this right down to the end, and by that time we should be able to see our pattern. Okay, so as you can see, I've come down to the end of our fob. I'm just finishing off trimming up these cords and singeing them off. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I am not the neatest at doing this, but you know, whatever works for you. The whole purpose really is just to finish off your cord and do so in a way that's gonna stop this all coming undone. And so I just melt it up, tap it down there, and it basically just seals off the end. So as you can see, we have created again about a couple of inch fob with a couple of inch loop, and that's out of 2 feet of both colors, so 4 feet total. And you can see there the spiral pattern. We have the square profile on the bottom, same as this one that we created before. Turn it that way. Oh, and again. So there we go. Pretty much exactly the same as we had before, but in this case we end up with a different profile because we've just rotated the knot 45 degrees each time. So you end up with that sort of cylindrical shape, and that is the round crown sinnet. So there you have it, guys. Hope that was useful. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I will try and help you out if you get stuck. And thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one.